It's cold, it's winter, it's snowing outside. I'm not a fan of it, but hey, you know what? We can talk about some sneaker heat, so hopefully that'll warm things up. That was just the worst. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler, and this is Weekly Heat. My intros are just getting worse and worse. I'm running out of ideas. But guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos that have run out of ideas like this. This is an awful way to start a video. What am I doing? Please hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot. Hit that notification bell if you haven't yet. And also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler. And while we're on with the shameless self-promotion, you guys should definitely check out my unboxing of the brand new $550 Apple AirPods Max. These are ridiculous. They look incredible though, and I really like them. And I shouldn't keep them, but I'm afraid that I might end up doing that. So we'll see what happens. But guys, make sure to check out the unboxing of these on my tech channel. And make sure to subscribe to that channel if you haven't yet, because I drop videos over there semi-regularly. It's a lot of fun, so whenever I get cool tech in, I usually unbox it over there. But crazy expensive headphones out of the way, let's get into the news stories of this week. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today is not so much a news story as it is a warning. Obviously, with Christmas coming up, shipping is really badly delayed, and of course, with this pandemic that we're in, I'm sure that doesn't help shipping at all. And I've noticed that in 2020, around Christmas time, this is the worst shipping delays I've ever experienced ever. Now, I know that's a first world problem, especially when it comes to sneakers, but I've got to say, it's starting to get really frustrating, especially because my whole business is based around sneakers, and I've ordered some sneakers like a month ago, and they still haven't come in yet. For example, I ordered 3 different pairs of Adidas sneakers from November 30th until I believe December 7th, and it's the 16th? Today, and I still haven't received any of them. Usually Adidas is really fast with shipping, and I don't actually think it's Adidas' fault, but they used a shipping service which just didn't work. For some reason, Adidas decided to go with USPS instead of FedEx like they usually do, and because of that, my packages are lost somewhere in the ether. I don't know where the hell they are, but they're out there somewhere. And it's not even like cheap sneakers. One of the shoes is a $650 Prada Adidas collaboration, which I wasn't even planning on keeping, to be honest with you, and now that $650 is no longer in my account, and there's nothing I can do about it. Our purchase might have actually been more stupid than the Apple headphones, because at least I can use the Apple headphones. Whatever. Just a warning, if you guys are buying anything around Christmas time this year, try and make sure that your packages are not coming through USPS. It's overloaded right now. Everything is taking its sweet time, and things just show up 3 weeks after you order them without any tracking. It's crazy. It's happened to my wife 3 or 4 times at this point. Just try and order through UPS or FedEx if possible. So the next thing that I wanted to cover in today's video is the upcoming Adidas Harden Volume 5. So this shoe is set to release on January 4th, 2021, which is a lot closer than you might realize, for a retail price of $130. This colorway, which I believe Adidas is calling the Crystal White colorway, is the very first Harden Volume 5 to drop, which means it's the launch colorway, and I think it's the only colorway that people are really going to be running out to the store to grab. Because usually when it comes to performance basketball sneakers, the only colorways that actually end up selling out are the very first colorway, because people are interested in trying the shoe and it's usually more limited, and the crazy limited hyped up ones, which usually don't release that often. It's also interesting that this shoe is coming out right around the time when we find out where James Harden is actually going to end up, because if you guys have not been following the NBA, he's requested a trade from the Houston Rockets, and it looks like the 2 places that he could end up are the Brooklyn Nets or the 76ers. Which is kind of nuts. Now, as a 76ers fan, I'm not totally sure how I feel about this, because it looks like the only way that we could get him is to get rid of somebody like Ben Simmons, who is my favorite basketball player of the moment. Yes, it has a lot to do with the fact that he's on my favorite team, but he really is an awesome player. And honestly, I might be devastated if that happens. And I realize that Harden's an excellent player, and it makes sense, but he's getting up there in age a little bit. He's kind of a ball hog, let's be honest, and just Ben Simmons is just the man. It would suck to lose him. I mean, if you saw the way that the Sixers were playing against the Celtics in the preseason, which I know isn't a huge indication of how the team is going to do, it looks like this new management is actually going to take the team in a really great direction. So I don't know if we need James Harden. I really hope that take doesn't age poorly, but we'll just have to wait and see. But getting back into the shoes after that crazy tangent, the shoes do look pretty similar to the Harden Volume 4s, and they still feature light strike cushioning. I'm not going to lie, the paneling on the upper is a little bit weird. It kind of looks like you've got these islands all over the shoe, and they all come in different colors. Not sure how I feel about that, but you know what? It's not a bad looking shoe. To be honest, I'm just really excited to see this shoe in person, so I guess I'll have to wait until I actually have the shoe in hand to find out whether I like it or not. But continuing on, it looks like in 2021, Nike is actually retroing the Nike Dunk High Syracuse. So in 2020, we actually had the low top version of the Syracuse Dunks drop, which I did pick up, and I'm really happy that I grabbed them because they're one of my most worn sneakers of the entire year. And based on some information from houseofheat.co, it looks like the high top version version of the Syracuse Dunks are re-releasing next spring. I'm stoked on this because personally I think the high top version of these Dunks look even better than the low top versions. I know that's kind of a hot take, but I really think that this original look is a little bit cleaner. And hey, if you missed out on the low top version, this high top version might actually be a little bit easier to grab. Of course, like the low top version, this shoe will come in white and orange leather on the upper, of course in the Syracuse colorway, and it will also feature a white midsole and an orange outsole. The expected retail price of the shoe is $110, and again, it is slated to release in spring of 2021. Next up, we've got some official images for a shoe that I am ridiculously hyped on, and that's the Bodega Nike Dunk High. 2019 and 2020 have been the years of the insane Bodega collaborations. And yes, I know most of them have been New Balance collaborations, and they are some of my favorite collaborations of the last 2 years, but I think this Nike collaboration is just like... To be fair though, I still do think that I prefer the 997Ss to these, but these are still insanely fire. I can't say it enough, but the designers behind these Bodega collaborations are next level. They kill it every single time. And of course, this Nike Dunk High collaboration is no different. This shoe looks insane. This Bodega Nike Dunk High comes in a crazy different mix of materials. You've got different kinds of leathers. You've got a tortoise shell Nike swoosh, which I think is crazy fire. You've got this insanely hairy suede with Bodega's logo pressed into it on the medial side, which I think looks incredible. And then the detail which I love the most is actually the hand stitching around the top of the ankle and around the wings of the shoe. Dude, I love the cobbled together aesthetic of this shoe. I'm not exactly sure what the inspiration is, but whatever it is, it's gotta be great because the shoe looks incredible. I just feel like the mix of materials and the colors that they used and the red on the sock liner, which I didn't even notice until these images came out, all of it together just makes a really incredible collaboration. I know this shoe is gonna be popular and obviously sell out instantly, but I'm not sure how popular it'll be compared to other Nike Dunk High collaborations that have released this year. Not that that really matters, but realistically, most of us are gonna have to be buying this shoe for resale. I don't expect to be able to get one for retail because I just suck at manual copying, so I'm just hoping that it won't be as expensive as some of the other drops that have dropped this year. That being said, congrats to Bodega for yet another insane collaboration. I can't wait for this sneaker to come out, and if you're looking to grab a pair of these for yourself, they should be releasing sometime before the end of the year. So remember that leaked fragment collaboration Air Jordan 3 from like 3 years ago? Well, that collaboration still probably isn't coming out, but it looks like Jordan Brand is releasing a non-collaboration version of a shoe that looks very, very similar. And that shoe is apparently called the Air Jordan 3 Racer Blue, and yes, it looks very, very similar. Now, it is possible that this is a coincidence and Jordan Brand was just planning to drop this sneaker, but as we saw with the Mocha ones that slightly resembled the Travis Scott Air Jordan ones, I think that this was planned, and I think that they knew that the hype for this sneaker would be pretty high because of that leaked fragment collaboration. No matter what the inspiration is for this shoe though, I think it looks incredible, and it's definitely a sneaker that I'm planning to pick up. Based on this rendering, it looks like the shoe is coming in a white leather upper with black elephant print, accented by a bright blue hit on the midsole and on the Jumpman on the tongue. No, it's not the most original Air Jordan 3 colorway, but it's solid, it's clean, and I'm glad that we're getting something that slightly resembles those Fragment 3s. According to houseofheat.co, it looks like the shoe is supposed to release in July of 2021, but make sure to stay tuned because that release date isn't set in stone, and it's also very possible that this rendering could be off and it might not look exactly how the sneaker ends up looking. We've seen that happen a lot. In fact, I think we just talked about a shoe that happened to in the last weekly Heat video. It's possible that this shoe could end up sucking, but I'm holding out hope and hoping that it looks very similar to this rendering. But I guess we'll just have to wait till July of 2021 to find out if the Air Jordan 3 Racer Blues are as good as they look in this image. After that, we've got a first look at a brand new Yeezy colorway, the Yeezy 350 V2 Ash Pearl. So this shoe is actually one of the first blue-ish Yeezy 350 V2s to release, and I've got to say, I like it. You know what? That's not true. I forgot about the blue tints, and I'm sure there's another one I'm forgetting. Yes, it does look very similar to a lot of other 350 V2s, but at this point, I think he's just releasing a bunch of different like earth tone colorways, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. We're not gonna get anything crazier than the neon 350 V2s, so this is really gonna be the best of it. So based on these images, it looks like a majority of the shoe is covered in a dark blue prime knit, with the top lateral side of the sneaker having some sort of like light tan or light gray stripe. This shoe isn't anything crazy when it comes to 350 V2s, but if you've been holding out for a primarily blue 350 V2 with a kind of whitish gray midsole, this is exactly what you're looking for. And the good news is, if you're looking forward to the Ash Pearl Yeezy 350 V2s, you shouldn't have too much longer to wait because they're projected to release in March of 2021. Continuing on with Yeezys, it looks like next year in 2021, we're getting a brand new Yeezy 500 colorway. This colorway is reportedly being called the Inflame colorway, and it comes in sort of a peach or light orange color. It really took me a long time to come around to the Yeezy 500s. I mean, like 2 years before I actually liked the shoe, but then when I started wearing it, I realized how good of a sneaker it actually is. So even though this colorway is not exactly something that I'm in love with, it would be a shoe that I would definitely consider picking up because of how good the silhouette is. And if you're interested in grabbing one of the Yeezy 500 Inflames for yourself, they should be releasing around April of next year. So it looks like Jordan Brand has just announced the return of a classic, the Air Jordan 6 Carmine. 2021 is the 30th anniversary of the Air Jordan 6, which obviously released back in 1991. The Air Jordan 6 is famous for a lot of different reasons, but it's also one of the silhouettes that Michael Jordan won one of his championships in. And of course, as I'm sure you already know, the Carmine colorway is one of the most popular Air Jordan 6 colorways. Now, the last time that we got the Air Jordan 6 Carmine, I believe, was in 2014, so it's only really been 7 years in 2021 since that shoe was released, but it's one of those sneakers that, I would be fine with releasing every 2 or 3 years. It's that good of a shoe. The 2021 Carmine Air Jordan 6s should be very similar to the originals. They come in a bold white and red upper, accented by a black tongue. They feature the Nike Air logo embroidered into the heel in bright red, a black midsole, and of course a semi-translucent icy outsole. And it looks like the 2021 retro of the Carmine 6s are returning on February 13th. With the DMP 6s releasing just a couple months ago and the Carmine 6s releasing in February, these last few months and the next couple months are really solid for Air Jordan 6 fans. It's crazy. And then the final story of today is one that I think a lot of people will be excited for, and that's that it looks like the Air Jordan 11 Cool Grays are finally returning in 2021. Originally, it was thought that the Cool Gray 11s would be retroing for Christmas of this year, but because 2020 is the 25th anniversary of the Air Jordan 11s, it makes sense that they decided to do something more anniversary themed. So apparently next year, it's all but confirmed that the Cool Gray Air Jordan 11s will be returning as the holiday release in 2021. The last time we had an actual retro of the Cool Gray 11s was in 2010, and I feel like 11 years is too long to have to wait for this sneaker. It's one of the best 11s ever. As the name of the sneaker would suggest, the shoe does come in a tonal gray makeup. You've got sort of a light gray nubuck on the top part of the upper, and then a darker gray patent leather panel around the bottom of the upper. Of course, because this is a newer Air Jordan 11 release, it should have that higher cut patent leather, which is truer to the OGs. And then the shoe is rounded off by a bright white midsole and an icy blue outsole. I know 11s have been kind of cooling down in popularity over the last couple of years, but this is one of those shoes that I think could really hype up the 11s once again, because it's one of those really anticipated Air Jordan 11 colorways, and I can't wait for it to drop. But that wraps up Weekly Heat for this week. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on all of the stories that we covered in today's video, so make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.